red trains. It's a metaphor for what's happening in Greenville, North Carolina, where there are two economic engines and about to be a third, Intersect East. It's a college town on the edge of prosperity that has capitalized on good thinking, good planning, and good timing. Elliott Sidewalk Communities has brought a $275 million project to Greenville. 3,000 construction jobs, a permanent workforce of 3,000, and a $6 million bump in local tax revenue. What's happening is reshaping this town and making people rethink the economy of Eastern North Carolina.
If you look at Greenville, North Carolina's history, which has been, over the course of decades, often about the tide rolling out, not in.
And I talk about tides only because, as I see, it happens so slowly, the economic tide. It ebbs and flows. We don't see it.
Meet Tim Elliott, the Elliott in Elliott Sidewalk Communities. His analogy goes like this.
And a tide is not waning. A tide is now coming in. We have incredible momentum.
Momentum now from decisions made 15 years ago. East Carolina University, and what was then called Vidant Health, had a problem. You see, these train tracks that once kept this town prosperous hauling tobacco also cut it in two. Only 20 blocks separate the hospital from the university. But traffic, trains, and small streets added up to a half hour or more. Some days you could walk faster than drive. The answer, 15 years in the making, is this: 5 lanes and a bridge up and over the tracks.
5-lane boulevard literally brings you right into the new center of downtown. This is connecting two major engines in town. One, we have ECU Health with 9,000 employees. We also have to the east 30,000 students and faculty at East Carolina University. Hey!
About this time, Tim Elliott was brought to the table to help master plan an empty slice of downtown. That vision resulted in this, a full block of lofts and apartments.
This street was 100% empty. 100% empty. This was a city-owned parking lot, and there was no activity here whatsoever.
Not anymore. Adjacent shops are full after being bought, rebuilt, reborn, and renewed.
But other developers within 6 months bought up all of this property.
The question becomes, how do we get the tide to come back in? What has to happen?
The Elliott Sidewalk Community's answer to that is also a question. What if? What if the tide came back at the very center of this town's heritage? Between healthcare and education, we find the ruins of Greenville's old economy on display. Historic tobacco warehouses, neglected and then abandoned when the tobacco tide receded. Tax contribution now, zip, zero. These ruins, just you watch, they're about to rise up.
We call it a Pacesetter Innovation Hub.
Elliott co-owner Brian Rogers continues.
And the Pacesetter Innovation Hub is our sort of take on the future of research parks. It's smaller, it's in an urban setting.
This Pacesetter Innovation Hub is a partnership with East Carolina University. Startups, spin-offs, or any business needing research and resources are welcome.
We've got a lot of resources available to us at the university. And partners that settle here at Intersect East are going to be able to access those resources.
You can already see the progress. Out in front, next to the new connector, a soon-to-be familiar name is unveiled.
Erecting a sign for Interstate East.
Intersect East.
Literally right in the new center of downtown.
Greenville is very fortunate to be in this position to see the development of Intersect East. My name is Anirban Basu. I'm the chairman and CEO of Sage Policy Group Incorporated. People want to be part of the rising tide. And so Intersect East is a catalyst for that rising tide.
Need the numbers? The total build-out cost? $275 million, 19 acres, and nearly 1 million total square feet.
Innovation needs space. There needs to be laboratories. There need to be places for people to gather.
Jobs? How about 3,000 construction? 3,000 permanent, over $650 million in total regional economic impact, with the exact estimate coming in at $656.6 million. Just the kind of stuff economic officials love to talk about.
All of us at the EDPNC are very excited about this transformative project.
On now to the other half of our title, trains.
We need to catch the economic train that is from Charlotte all the way up to Raleigh. I just want this town to be known as the capital of Eastern North Carolina.
Intersect East literally sits on a train line. Sure, it's a nice metaphor, but the project's connection to the past, the physical intersection of Greenville, the university, and the medical center, well, that's real. When you visit Intersect East, you'll now know why there's a train car on the siding. It's not just for decoration. It's a restaurant, like a food truck, only better, because it's a train.
We are in the midst of buying and renovating trains that are going to become a train restaurant and visitor center. This is a historic building built in several phases from 1915 to 1939.
Top-notch research will happen here. Entrepreneurs, startups, and researchers will call it home. By respecting, honoring, and renovating these and other historic buildings, the bare earth nearby is free to be reimagined. A sleek, modern office building will sit on the connector. Greenville's rail to trails path leads to this open area, a space not for commerce, industry, or toil. 2 acres in size, this pocket park is a front lawn, a town square, a place to gather and celebrate. In other words, a sidewalk community.
I'm Christy King with Apogee in Greenville, North Carolina. We are a nationwide Apple value-added reseller.
The success of this hometown startup means it has outgrown its roots downtown.
So we are in discussion to see if potentially Apogee might be one of the original family owners at Intersect East, and it's a very, very exciting proposition to us.
I'm the owner of Sub Dog's restaurant here in downtown Greenville. I love it because it's just a handful of blocks away from us.
Oh, it's huge. Everyone knows Tim Elliott and his name and Intersect East, and everyone's extremely excited about it.
Excited, sure, but the financials have to work. And they do.
Intersect East pencils out very, very well. This one is really well thought out. So whether we're talking about tides or whether we're talking about trains, it's about force, it's about motion, it's about movement. It's about getting from point A to point B.
Tide's rising, so we all need to jump on board.
I think this is going to be a game changer for Greenville.
It's just a very exciting time for Greenville, no matter how you look at it.
It's a multiplier. It creates more of a buzz about the community and brings other like-minded investment.
It is always broadly shared prosperity. Prosperity for the many. That's what this is about.
This concept can be recreated anywhere.
So if I'm a university president, what's happening at Intersect East very much interests me, because how can I get the best and the brightest students to choose to come to my institution? I have to create a place. I have to create a destination.
Pace Center Innovation Hubs absolutely work in many places.
It is the model that we believe we can really grow and scale this business.
Our job is to look at these engines, make them, rewire them, and rebuild on these hubs.
If you want to create your own campus and town economic engine, story, legacy, and place, give us a call. The tide is rising, and we'll save a spot for you on the train bound for Greenville, East Carolina University, and Intersect East.